Hi guys, I'm Arif Siddiqui. My little bit of a brief introduction that I worked for 28 years in the banking. I saw the journey from very manual banking to the automated branch banking, and from branch banking to the centralized banking. I worked for an international bank and gone through with this journey in a sense that how the automation has happened in the banking. Since last 2 years, I was working very much into the new technologies being used in banking, and especially I reviewed the 80 banks, which is called Challenger Bank or the new bank, which is basically purely mobile only banks. And these bank has done a great job in the last 2 to 3 years that not only they have got the customers, but they came up with a lot of product and technology. We'll talk in a little while that what these banks are doing. I did one presentation or video on a challenger bank and prepared infographics which is basically showing all the 80 banks what they are doing. You can subscribe my channel and be able to see those videos as well. But today what I want to do is I want to cover the 4 banks out of these 80. I did the similar work for around 20 banks, but here I selected out of that 4 banks to tell you about that what these 4 banks are doing, what are their products are, and what technology they are using. And this can give you the fair idea that what these banks are heading for. And it is really a disruption to the banking. I will cover in the last portion of the video that where we are at this stage and what kind of disruption to the banking at this moment. So let's go to the first bank, which is a new N26 bank. N26 Bank is founded in 2015 in Berlin, Germany, and they got it is basically a pan European bank, and since last 2 years they have gone to the 17 countries, and that is amazing in a sense that how this bank can be able to penetrate into the multiple countries. Obviously there is a challenge on regulatory approvals, there is a challenge on how to do the setup for each countries. But what I saw is that they have gone through with the 17 countries already. It is there, and they are looking forward in 2018 USA, and that is very interesting too, because they are moving from a country which is countries where they are very much aware of that how the mobile banking is supposed to be, and a lot of people are using it as well. But when you go to the US, they have to set the tone in a sense that how the people should be able to use the mobile banking. I'm covering one US mobile bank only as well, which is Bankmobile. So you can see the difference between what Europe and what American banks are doing. So currently, by the time I prepared this slide, I actually gone through with the various areas. One is the customer size. The customer size currently they are around 0.7 million. They are in 17 countries. They raised a $55 million of the funding, and they have approximately 250 employees in the organization. So let's see that what kind of product they are offering. So in the product, they have insurance business, lifestyle, investment, overdraft, payment, credit, savings, MasterCard and debit card. So it's a huge size of the products. I mean, amazing that how the one bank within 2 years can be able to provide such a large number of products. And I will show you that how these people are working to do these things very easily. Now coming to the next slide, which is more of a technology, and I will little bit put up time here, that how these people, what technology they are using it. So in case of N26, there are three areas, solutions they are using for the payment side. So if you see the Brensland, that is an API and a prepaid card solution, and it is turns retail shop. So very interesting that N26 is having a 7,000 shops where the customer can be able to withdraw and deposit the cash. And alone in Germany, they are the largest 3,000 shops, and it is more than actually Deutsche Bank. So how they are slowly penetrating into the Berlin, and the space is very simple, like shops. So 700 shops, 7,000 shops. They are giving the facility to the customer to go and withdraw and deposit the cash. Now, I have seen this mostly in the areas where either the bankable customer are low, or mobile banking or digital banking is very not common in Africa, or you can see in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, where this kind of scenario has been gone very well, in a sense that thousands and thousands of the shops are coming as a withdrawal and deposit for the wallet. So wallet is becoming a big piece. Like in Bangladesh, there is a called bKash, where they have a more than 100,000 agents, and similarly in Pakistan, there is some 300,000 agents working with these wallets, and almost all telcos are having the wallet. But what I'm trying to say here is that it is not only in Africa and the other area, but also it is coming into the Europe and other areas as well. So bank is changing the shape. And that's what I said much earlier, in fact, when I was looking forward to make a branch on a petrol pump, and that I called it smart branch. And the idea was that how the branch shape has to be changed. And every bank is looking forward a model, in a sense, that how the smart branch should look like as well. I think this is a transition. The main branch to the smart branch, or the smart branch to the mobile only branch, or the without any people branch, and then the journey is supposed to go to the shop branch. Now shop branch is, they are leapfrogging in a sense to that, and directly going and collaborating with the shops, that how people can be able to withdraw and deposit the cash immediately. So that is an interesting thing, that the banks who are trying to change themselves, and I have seen that a lot of banks are doing this called mobile only branch, or branch which is without any person. I think still it is a branch. So there is another thing is called how you can work with the various shops, so that people can be able to use facility from there. And in this space, the wallet can play a vital role, because these transactions are very small transactions, and wallet can be, or the prepaid card can be used for these purposes. The second technology is Wemo. Wemo is investment management solution, and investment management solution where it is both secured and unsecured. they are also providing called robo-advisory. So that is very interesting to me in a sense that they have gone into the area to start looking how they can be able to provide some of the robo-advisory to their customers into the investment. I understand there is a long way to go for it because still the robo-advisory is in a very, very early stage. It's a lot has to be done in this space, and AI and machine learning has to be used to develop the model that it should be very close to what the RM or relationship manager is providing the investment advisory. So that is very interesting that they have started at least to grow this space. The third one is a TransferWise, and that is an excellent migration which I have seen in N26, that within kind of month they have been able to integrate the TransferWise. And it is not just that putting the TransferWise screen into their app. They have created the link between the TransferWise and their own app, and created this transition in a very fast manner. And I will come later on that how they can be able to do it. But one of the things is very important, speed to market, that these banks can be able to deliver things very, very fast. And that's what we have to see, that these traditional banks are lacking. It is not that they don't have the money. They have a huge money and they're pumping the huge money on a digital transformation. They are coming up with the new ideas. But one thing they have to understand is that agile working is very, very important. The product people, the technology people, the operation people, the compliance and others has to work together in a way that they should be able to produce the product. And I'm worried about that some of these traditional banks will come up with the product, and probably that product will not be very famous into the public. And the reason behind is, again I am saying, these traditional banks, although say that they know their customers, but they have to start thinking about outside in. Rather than the inside, they have a team of these innovation and transformation, and these people are making a decision with the existing people in the bank what customers require in terms of customer experience. Whereas these mobile banks are looking forward outside in and really talking to the customer and getting the feedback real time from the customer to know that what is working, what is not working, and they have a very much easy way to basically change the whole process. Whereas in the traditional bank, it takes longer time to change anything. I'll later on touch a little bit more on this, that how the two differences are there and how disruption can be created because of this factor. Now next is Ox Money. Lending platform matches individual borrowing to the individual lenders. It's a very much like a lending club, and they are providing a facility through this technology solution, that how the matching can happen on the basis of borrowing and lending. And still it is a small scale, it is not a large amount, but the number of transactions I have seen is growing actually in this space. The next is the Horizon aggregator for the fixed deposit. Very interesting that what they are signed with some of the banks and providing the solution to their own customers, that how they can be able to deposit the fund in a fixed deposit up to 5 years, and the amount, maximum amount is 25,000 pounds sterling. And this is amazing because they are starting to become the aggregator. And in the light of PSD2, which is already implemented or implementing in Europe, And these aggregators can play a very, very vital role in this whole space, because they can be able to tell to the customer on aggregation that if the customer is having an account with a 4-bank, they can take the data of the 4-bank, aggregate it, analyze it, and tell them which fixed deposit suits to them according to the time and according to the period and according to the amount. In the light of PSD2, this is very interesting that they are playing the role of the aggregator. And this aggregation will allow customers to be able to see the multiple fixed deposit options in the various banks. And through the AI, these aggregator can be able to tell them that according to your need, period, and size of the amount, which fixed deposit suits you in which bank. So that they can be able to provide more of as an aggregator, the services to the customer. Cloud 24 is an insurance policy to the customer. Again, they are providing some of the connectivity with the solution and providing the complete product through this, which is insurance policy. The last one which I will cover is Mambu. Mambu is, wow, this is, there are few actually. It is not only the one which is cloud-based core banking solution. So, I can see it from my previous experience that how much longer one bank takes to change the core banking solution. And almost every bank, traditional bank, has changed at least once or twice the core banking solution in the last 30 to 40 years. It is a huge program. It takes few years, and in some cases it is more than 5-6 years if it is a multinational bank and it covers to the many countries. It's not easy because you are converting the data from one core banking solution to another core banking solution. And it is also difficult in a way that you are linking it to the layer which is called the surround system. And a lot of banks are having more than a few hundred surround solutions. So this is a huge exercise for every bank to change the core banking application. Now, coming to the cloud-based core banking mechanism, it is much easier in a way that first thing is that how N26 has gone to the 17 countries and how fast they can be able to go into the other countries as well. That is very interesting because they have an ability to go to the new countries because the core banking solution is on a cloud base, and a quite number of applications which they are using is also a cloud-based application. So first thing is they are paying on a basis of transaction. They are not invested a lot money into their hardware solution and they are putting a lot of efforts to come into the new features in a core banking. So that is one of the very important piece. And I've seen few of the other challenger bank has used other cloud-based core banking solution. Like one of the bank has used Apache distributed ledger or database solution, which is also on a cloud, and the same solution or core solution is being used by Apple and Twitter. So the banks, these challenger banks are coming up and putting up more into the cloud, so that will give a few benefit to them. First, the cost. The cost will be definitely lower than what these bank has to set up the structure or set up the whole hardware. The second thing is that speed to market. How fast they can be able to produce the product. And that is very important for them, in fact. And third one is that they should not worry about the cyber security and other pieces. and invest into it on a regular basis, that investment is happening on a cloud. So that is a third one. And a fourth one is the APIs. So every layer which is or surround system, they are having it or they are connecting it, it is between the core system and this app, there is an API. So everything is happening on API. It's a very fast to develop thing. It is more and more these APIs will come. You will see that the connectivity between the surround systems and the core banking will go away. And one of the benefit is the regulatory reporting. And by having this, where the regulatory reporting model is, or ALM model is already there in the core banking solution, you can jump immediately and be able to produce those reports. Coming to two more, not much time on it. Siri, they are using Siri for in Germany for it's the first voice recognition in Germany, and of course other challenger banks are using the other solutions as well. Now moving to the product side, I covered a little bit, but let me go through with this as well. So as I said that 7,000 branch shops, they are having it. They have a simple, very simple investing platform. They have a very simplified fee structure. So the customer, another thing which customer are looking forward is how the banks, these banks can be able to create a transparency. So the customer always feeling that existing traditional banks are not providing all the information to them. So this is very interesting in a sense that customer wants a transparency. Customer want a transparency on a fee mechanism. Customers want a transparency of interest. And that's very, very important, which is still, I think, in a digital transformation or innovation in existing traditional banks, they are not looking into. They are spending a lot of money to make the mobile app so that they can be able to give a front layer to the customer to connect to the bank and be able to service, which is fantastic. I mean, this is great that the banks are doing it, and they signed up with some of the fintech companies or acquired some of the companies, and that is going very well. But what is, I feel, is not going very well is the transparency piece. And that is very important, that these traditional banks has to look forward that how they can create the transparency to the customer. Because it is, customer experience is not all about that you are giving an app to the customer and they can push a 2 button and can be able to see some of the information. They are looking some other things as well. So we have to really go beyond and try to understand that what customers are looking for in a age, which is, we call it social media age, and these people are very much aware of that how to use this mobile. So this is what is the on a product side, like when they implemented TransferWise, they are clearly giving exactly the fee, that how much to pay to the TransferWise and how much customer has to pay to us. So customer is clearly aware of that how much they are paying fee for cross-border payment. And by the way, N26 now transferring money through TransferWise to 19 countries. So the people can see the bank, traditional banks, that how much they are taking as a fee, and then they are going on other side and looking into a bank like N26 and see that what they are charging for the cross-border fee. And that will make the difference, because the customer will not retain like it was before, that some bank is a 100-year-old bank and their grandfather was doing the banking with them, and it means that the second generation or third generation has to do the banking with that bank. That will go away anyway. The customer has to see the product and services and how they can be able to use the bank, and they can be able to switch it. And it's not that they will switch it totally. They can use the existing banks, which is a traditional bank, but for a certain level they can be able to use these challenger bank as well. And that's what I am seeing, the disruption coming in. Slowly and gradually what I can see is in the next 5 years that the traditional bank will be losing the relationship with the customers. And as in the absence of the branches, which is going away, in fact, most of the banks are closing the branches or coming with the smart branches, and suddenly, and also they are reducing the way that a bank was having a relationship with the customer, like call center and others. So, and in a branch, RMs are talking to the customers as well. Now let's move to and show you some of the screens that they are having it, just to see that how these people have designed a UI. And in the UI you can find out that these people are showing you all the data, which is like your spending, your other things. Now this screen is very interesting, that on a credit card today, if I would like, suppose that I lost the card and I want to block the card, what I supposed to do in a traditional banking? I have to call to the bank and say that I lost the card. And by the way, as usual as a banker, we have to go through with the verification, which is the 5 questions they will ask about your date of birth, about your ID, about your other things, and then they can take this call. And what these people did, like N26, is you can do this from your own app. So the number of settings of a cards and debit cards and other saving accounts, you can be able to change through the app. So that's no necessity that they should go to the branches. They should go to the call center, and they want to eliminate maximum to the call center, because this whole model is a very low cost model. The other thing is they're sending all the messages to you, even the proactively as well. If there is a bill due to pay and customer has not paid, they give early alerts as well. And the other thing is that they can show their spending, in which area you are spending how much in the month. So little bit of a statistics to the customer, and that's not that easy, because lot of banks still don't have the unified relationship number. And because of the legacy, a lot of customers do have say 90% of the accounts under the one relationship number, but still the 10% is not being transferred or not being there. So there is a huge issue today if any traditional bank is trying to come up with this kind of model. The legacy is basically that how they have to collect the data from all the products, even the investment product, and plug into the one tracker. That's not easy, in fact. And that is another slide, which is more of how you can see your number of transactions. So this is about all N26, and let me go through with this another challenger bank, which is Adam Bank.